Ashley. Welcome to the office. My name is Mrs. Chavis. I have to remind you that anything you say in here today will be strictly confidential unless you talk about hurting yourself or others, and then I have to let someone else know other than myself has to know. But everything else will be confidential, just to let you know.
Sounds good.
So, what brings you in today?
So what brings me in is a lot of my peers and my associates. They keep pointing out that I may have an issue with utilizing social media a little bit too much. So.
Oh, okay. Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you are using your phone, or if you're getting on a computer, when you do decide to use those, what is the first thing you look at on your phone or computer? Is it emails? Do you answer messages? Or are you going strictly to these social media sites?
Yeah, definitely. The first thing I'm doing when I wake up in the morning, I put my phone in my hand, I'm definitely going on social media. That's my first go-to. That's my routine in the morning.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do go to these sites, how long are you on a site?
I would say at a minimum, at least an hour. I'm up there at least an hour when I'm on there.
Okay, an hour. Okay. So when you are on that long, what are you looking for? Like, what are you doing? Like,
I'm just browsing, receiving information, feeling like I'm in a loop. I feel like I'm up to gear with my friends and my peers. I'm staying in the loop of things. I'm being informed of what's going on in our environment, all by just being on my phone.
so when you're finding all these information and staying in the loop, are you like looking at one site in particular, or is it surfing several sites?
I'm definitely surfing. It's not just a commitment to one site in particular. I'm definitely surfing.
So do you belong to more than one site? Like, are you membered?
Definitely.
Or are you like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's the only way I feel like I'm in the loop.
okay, so what sites do you frequent a lot of the time?
My frequent sites would definitely have to be Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Those are definitely my type 3 that I surf amongst.
So let me ask you this. Do you have more followers or friends on the sites? Pretty much, like, do you have more conversation and talk, and do you communicate more on site, on the social media networks, or do you talk more to your friends, like that you have in reality?
Right.
Like,
well,
here.
I see it more so as my friends on social media are my friends, therefore I communicate with them a little bit more.
So if one of your friends came over to your house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would they come and would you talk, or would you be like rushing them off to get back on social media?
Yeah, I'll talk for a little bit, but definitely there's a limit, and I will rush them, and it's back to my regular routine.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Do you get uneasy when you can't access social media?
Definitely.
Because you can't be on your phone.
You're right.
If you're at school or work,
right.
church or the bank.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely, I would say I get easy. The funny thing about it is I still find a way to be on those social media sites regardless of where I'm at the time.
Okay, have you ever tried to make an attempt to cut back on your social media and failed?
Yeah, I've tried something that they called a social media fast because I was aware that I use it a lot in my free time and even when I don't have free time. It was not successful. I did not stick with the time requirement that I set for myself. So, yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you something. Have you ever gotten in trouble or not like trouble in a, like you got arrested or anything like that, of course,
okay.
But gotten in trouble at school or at work,
for
like
sure.
being on your phone too long, or you know, not carrying your share of the weight,
Mhm.
missing assignments,
Yeah.
you know, almost flunking out of school, maybe that kind of thing.
Yeah,
on social
definitely
media.
in class. You know, you have those professors that they've caught me, you know, on occasion, and so they're not afraid to call me out and say, "Hey, you came here for this, not for that. You need to do that in your free time," or even at work. You know, when you have those meetings and they're telling you, "Hey, something needs to change." You seeing a lot of people utilizing their phone, and they give you the little stare down, like they're specifically talking to me because they see me abusing that a little bit more. So yes, I have.
So how does that make you feel? Do you think that's a big deal to you? Does that make you, I mean, how does that make you feel? Is it like,
Honestly, I don't see it as that big of a deal because I feel like there are bigger issues in the world rather than Ashley being on her phone. I feel like I could be doing something more tragic. So I don't see that as that big of a deal when it's bigger issues in the world with me just being on my phone in my spare time of social media.
so when you're in class and like, don't you feel like you're kind of like missing out on information you may need on the next test, or does that not bother you?
No, because I feel like that's what they have study sessions for. That's why I have those peers on my social media, because if I miss something, I can reach out to them there to ask, "Hey, what is, you know, this question I didn't understand? Hey, I may have missed that. Can you fill me in?" So I feel like it can also be a great tool that I can reach out to my peers when I miss out on something.
Exactly. Now, social media can be a great tool for
Sure.
that aspect, but at the same token, you don't want to totally rely on social media for that too. And like you said, at your job, aren't you fearful that if you keep getting complained on and people feel like you're not carrying your fair share of the work, you will get reported, and so many reports, they may even fire you.
True.
Do you want to go down that road?
No, but again, like I said, I feel like there are bigger issues that go on at work that will call for a write-up or potentially being fired rather than me just being on my phone.
Okay. So let me ask you something. You said that your peers and associates are worried about your social media usage. What about your parents? How do they feel?
Oh, definitely. They're like the number one people who make the statement, "Hey, get off your phone. We're at dinner. Stay off your phone." So they're really big on me utilizing or just being on my phone too much, period.
And how do they feel about you, like your grade? How about, you know, you getting in trouble at work, or, you know, you being told to be off your phone at school, like, you know?
Well, those things they don't know too much of because I don't speak on things like that.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm sure if they were aware, they would probably say, "Hey, this is unacceptable. You know,
Right.
that's not what you're there for.
Yeah,
You're
that
there
would,
to
right.
learn, to educate yourself at school, and then at work, you're there to work." Not.
So how are your grades at school?
They're
because-
decent.
Could they be better though?
I think so, but I think anybody could be better at anything in life. So even if I was where I wanted to be, I still feel like I could be better than where I'm at.
Okay, so have you ever talked to your parents about why you are on social media and your stress? Have you ever had like a conversation with them and said, "Hey mom, hey dad, I'm on social media because it's like a getaway. I can hide, I can just let my hair down and get on social media for an hour, and I'm just free."
Yeah, no, I haven't, because I feel like the effort and the time it takes for me to voice that opinion towards them, it takes more work, whereas all I have to do is just literally take 2 seconds to pick up the phone and just escape into my reality that way.
Wow. Okay. Do you have a good relationship with your parents? Like,
it's not bad. It's not bad. I think it's okay.
okay. Are you comfortable with like having a face-to-face conversation with them?
I mean,
could you go to them and tell them? Could you talk to them?
I feel like I could, but I mean, what's the point when I could just browse on my network and just deal with things that way.
So your relationship is not totally bad, but it
Yeah.
isn't the greatest.
Yeah,
relationship.
I think it can be improved.
Okay.
Definitely.
So what I'm hearing is it sounds like, you know, you still have a relationship with your parents and you are still able to communicate with them and still talk to them face to face about things going on in your life.
Definitely.
So at this point, may I just make a little suggestion about communicating with your parents?
Sure, that's what I'm here for.
So what I'm thinking in my head is, I think it would be a good idea if you would put pen to paper and write down all of your ideas, all of your issues you think you're having, your stressors, everything that you are thinking, and just write it down and give it to your parents. That way, you're not talking to them face to face, but you are telling them how you feel. And normally when you write things down, you don't forget points. But if you're talking to them face to face, you're talking so much sometimes that you may forget important things. And even the littlest things are very important.
Sure.
Sometimes we get nervous and we skip over things that we were like, oh, I should have said that later, but you forget. So does that sound like that's something you would want to do? To make it, to bridge the gap, to make your parents understand what you're going through?
I'm open to it.
You're open to
Yeah,
it?
I'm open to it.
Okay, well, that's good. And I'm so glad that you're open to that. Because I think your parents, if they knew what was behind social media and why you're going to social media, I think they would understand a little more. And y'all's relationship may become a little stronger.
Okay.
And they may be a little more supportive.
Yeah.
So, have you ever made any attempts to kind of deal with your stress other than just going straight to social media? Let me ask you that.
Not really.
You've
But
never.
like that, yep. It's just, it's so convenient. It's there, it's easier access. So why rely on anything else when I have something that's right there for me?
True, that's very true.
Mhm.
That's it. So the next time I think when you feel stressed, there are multiple things you would actually do besides getting on your phone and just going to social media. And these are things that you could just really do around your house too,
Nice.
that are convenient. And I know it's just easy to be sitting in your room and just pick up your phone and get on social media, but these are things too that you could do. And you can just use your computer to pull up like meditation websites and use that to sit in your room and just close your eyes and make it dark in your room, turn the lights off, and just sit there with your eyes closed and just think of thoughts of, you know, just be in peace, you know, just have peaceful thoughts. That's one way you could think and do and be stress free.
Okay.
And you know that reduces stress. Or even like a walk around your neighborhood, you know, just get out, let the sun, when it's sunny, a good sunny, pretty day, let the wind blow through your hair, you know, and just have a nice day, you know, put a smile on your face. Because most of the time people are out walking also, and they'll see you, you'll see them, and they'll say, hey, and you'll say, hey, and you know, you want to greet them with a smile and everything like that. So that's another good thing, you know. And then, of course, yoga is like by far my favorite when you're stressed out, because that really relaxes you, and you're also getting something out of it, and it keeps you healthy. So it's really two benefits to
Nice.
yoga. You get healthy and you de-stress.
Okay.
So so it looks like today, when you came in and you wanted to talk about you maybe having issues with social media. It looks like you're spending like a lot of time on like sites, maybe an hour. You know, that's a lot of time, especially on social media. And then, you know, your parents, your friends, and associates are worried about you. You know, it bothers you when you can't access it. If you have to put your phone away, it's like you're finding other ways to get on it, and that's
Right.
that's an eye opener. You say you use social media to release stress and escape reality, and you know, it's like your little coping mechanism, and you really haven't dealt with your stress. So we suggested some plans that maybe be helpful to you to communicate with your parents better, to help them understand what's going on with you, and ways to help you deal with stress other than just going to social media and just sitting there for hours at a time. You know, you can get out and be focused with, you know, the world, and maybe bring your friends back in your life, you know, the ones that you can see, that you can touch, that are tangible, you know, with your stress. So it looks like we've come up with some good tips, some good plans.
Definitely.
You know, that I think you're pretty open to.
Yeah,
They sound good to you.
Yeah.
I think you would like that. Yeah. So I really would like to see you again in the office.
Yeah.
Is that something you would be open to as well?
I'm open to that.
Well, good. That's great, because I think you're a great person, and I think if we just can see those triggers that stress you, if we can get to the bottom of those in your next visit, I think you would be good to go. You know, it just takes one little thing to trigger stress, and if we can get to the bottom of it, I think, you know, you may be a pretty alright person. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you leave. You just see my receptionist on the way out, and she will make you the next appointment. So it was very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well.
Thank you for coming
Thank
in the
you so much
office.
for having me.
Have a great day. Bye bye.